This is a deep dive podcast covering articles published on Ecogate's blog, brought to you by Ecogate, the leader in on-demand dust collection.
Dust collection, it runs all day, burning what's growing cash away. Dust collection, forgot to close the gate. Or why is the airflow low and the cost so great? No more. Turn your airflow into cash flow. Saving thousands, literally thousands. With Ecogate, you watch your savings grow. Yeah.
Okay, so get this. You know how we always hear about factories like trying to be as efficient as possible with their production lines?
Absolutely. Maximizing output, minimizing waste. It's the name of the game.
Right, exactly. But there's this whole unseen side to factories where they're potentially wasting a ton of energy, and it all comes down to dust.
Yeah, dust collection. It's definitely one of those hidden costs that most people don't even think about.
Totally. We're talking about keeping workers safe, preventing fires, even making sure the products they're making are high quality. It all depends on good dust management. And you sent us some really interesting stuff about a new system called Ecogate.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating approach, and its impact goes way beyond just, sucking up dust.
That's what we're going to dig into today. Does Ecogate really live up to the hype? How does it stack up against the old way of doing things? Let's find out.
Let's do it.
So first, we need to set the scene here. Imagine a giant vacuum cleaner running all the time. Not cleaning your living room, but just constantly going to keep the air clear in a factory. That's basically traditional dust collection.
Yeah, and it's like leaving your car running all day, just in case you need to run a quick errand. Not very efficient.
Definitely not. Which is where this Ecogate thing comes in with this whole on-demand idea.
Yeah, it's all about being smart about it. Only use energy when you actually need it.
Okay, I like it. So the article you sent in talks about a bunch of advantages with this Ecogate system. And the first one is cost. They're saying that over the life of the system, it actually costs way less to own than those always-on systems, like 35 to 40% less. But I'm thinking what you're thinking. Doesn't new tech usually mean a bigger price tag up front?
It usually does.
Yeah.
And Ecogate's no different. You've got your variable frequency drive to control the motor speed automatic gates that open and close when they're needed. It's sophisticated stuff. But, in a lot of places, you can actually get big incentives for installing energy-efficient systems, just like this one.
Really? How big are we talking?
We're talking potentially up to half of those installation costs covered by utility companies.
Wow. So it's like they're saying, help us save energy and we'll help you save money.
Exactly. A win-win for everyone. And it really shows how seriously people are taking this whole energy efficiency thing.
For sure. So cost savings check. But what about those filters? With all that dust flying around, they must need replacing all the time, right?
You'd think so. With the traditional systems, that's absolutely right. They get clogged up so fast. But because Ecogate only runs when it's needed, the filters actually last way longer.
Makes sense. Less wear and tear, less money spent on replacements. Better for the environment, too. Fewer filters ending up in a landfill.
Absolutely. It's a win all around.
And speaking of better for the environment, that brings us to energy use. This seems to be where Ecogate really shines.
Yeah, the article you sent said they can reduce energy use by as much as 66%.
66%. Okay, that sounds impressive, but what does that actually look like in the real world?
Well, think about it this way. An average factory using this Ecogate system could save enough energy to power hundreds of homes for a whole year. That's a massive difference in their carbon footprint.
Okay, now you're talking hundreds of homes. Now that's something I can wrap my head around.
Yep.
But how do they pull that off? What's the magic trick here?
It's all about this thing called the fan law. Basically, if you can reduce the amount of air the fan has to move even a little bit, you can dramatically reduce the energy it takes to run.
So it's not just about turning the fan off and on, it's about fine-tuning how much power it's using all the time.
Right. It's kind of like the difference between slamming your foot down on the gas pedal and easing into it. That nice, smooth acceleration saves you a ton of gas.
So this Ecogate system is like the cruise control of dust collection. I'm into it. But wait, there was something else in the article about data analytics. Tell me more about that.
Oh yeah, Ecogate isn't just collecting dust, it's collecting data too. It tracks which workstations are using the system the most. Which you might think is no big deal, but it's actually really useful information. Well, for one thing, it helps factory managers see where the bottlenecks in their production line might be. Like say, one workstation is constantly running at max capacity. Maybe they need to invest in another one, or figure out a way to make things run a little smoother.
So it's not just about energy savings, it's about optimizing their whole process. Interesting.
It is. And it plays into this whole Industry 4.0 thing everyone's talking about.
Okay, Industry 4.0. For those of us who haven't had their coffee yet, what exactly does that mean?
Basically, it means using data and tech to make everything smarter and more efficient. Automation, AI, the Internet of Things, the whole shebang. And Ecogate fits right in using data to make better decisions about how they use their resources.
So they've got their finger on the pulse of the whole factory, seeing things they never could have before.
You got it. And that can make a huge difference, especially in industries where every penny counts.
Absolutely. Even small gains in efficiency can have a big impact on their bottom line.
For sure. And the best part is that those efficiency gains come with a bunch of other benefits like we were talking about, like reducing noise pollution.
Oh, yeah, those traditional systems must be so loud.
It's constant. With Ecogate, it's so much quieter. A way better environment for the workers.
Which I'm sure makes them happier and more productive.
Exactly. And don't forget about that remote monitoring and adjustment feature we were talking about.
Yeah, that's pretty unusual for industrial equipment, isn't it?
It is. Usually you'd need a technician to be there in person for even the smallest thing. But with this, you could have someone on the other side of the world log in, diagnose any problems, adjust the settings, all without setting foot inside the factory.
It's like having IT support for your dust collection system. Wild.
It really is. And it just goes to show how this technology is really changing the game for industrial equipment.
It's amazing to think that something like dust collection could be so high-tech, right? But for our listener out there who's thinking, okay, this is all really cool, but I don't even own a factory. What's the takeaway here? Why should they care about any of this?
It's funny. We often get so caught up in trying to fix the big, obvious problems that we miss those little things that could make a real difference. And I think that's what Ecogate really highlights, those hidden opportunities for making things better.
It's like that saying, right? Can't see the forest for the trees, or in this case, the dust.
Exactly. And it's not just limited to factories either.
Yeah.
Think about all the other areas in life where we just assume things have to be a certain way.
Okay.
Like how energy efficient are our homes really? What about all the waste in our cities? Could we be doing things differently there? There's so much potential for improvement if we just open our minds to it.
I'm getting fired up just thinking about it. So where should our listener even start? If they want to find those hidden opportunities, what's step one?
It all starts with curiosity. Question everything. Don't be afraid to ask why 5 times until you get to the bottom of things. And then get creative. Look for those unexpected connections, those aha moments when you realize you can use an idea from one area to solve a problem in a completely different area.
Yeah, I love that. Everyone unleash your inner inventor. If something as seemingly simple as dust collection can be totally revolutionized, who knows what other breakthroughs are out there just waiting to be discovered.
That's what makes these deep dives so interesting. It's not just about learning new things. It's about expanding our understanding of what's possible.
Well said. A huge thank you to our listener for sending us down this dust-filled rabbit hole. What an eye-opening conversation.
My pleasure.
And for everyone listening out there, keep those brains buzzing, keep asking those what-if questions, and we'll be back next time with another deep dive into a topic that's sure to surprise you.